All right, so today I'm going to go over a most recent post I just did, a reel on Instagram that actually popped off for me. And I'm going to go over why I think it popped off, what I did to change from the last video to this one. And the overall concept is to make small tweaks to your videos to skyrocket your views. And I've always believed this. It's just been like a consistency has been the hard part for me. But now that I've been consistent, I can start making those like small tweaks to every single video. And I highly suggest if you are someone that is out there doing content, that you analyze your videos from video to video. You're not just kind of like throwing stuff at the wall, because doing this will allow you to make those 1% changes to your content. And that's what's going to push the video to more viewers, because at the end of the day, all these platforms, all they care about is the amount of watch duration on the video itself. So I'm going to go through why I believe this one did pop off, the retention on this, and some of the other changes I made. Okay, so this was the most recent video, and it didn't go viral by any means, but compared to my latest videos, like since I've started on the social journey as of recent, the average views for me dropped from like I was like averaging around 2000 to now it's like 6 or 700. And I believe it's because I started switching to recording in the TikTok app and then repurposing it to Instagram. And I think I've been doing some research on it. I believe that Instagram is able to read that it's still from TikTok, even though I'm doing like a couple things in the back end. So starting today, I'm going to be recording in the Instagram app itself. But regardless, this one still popped off, even though it was a repurposed TikTok. And I believe this one would have gotten more and more views if it wasn't from TikTok. And I'll show you why. So if I go to Insights, I had, where's the shares? 51 shares on this. So if you have a video that has 51 shares, it should get a decent amount of views. And yeah, this one's a good amount of views, 3,381. But I believe this should have been pushed out a bit more than this with that many shares. But regardless, it still did well. I got about let's see how many followers. So it shows 10 on this, but what this is reading is someone that directly follows you from this video. A lot of the times people will exit from this video, go to your profile, look at all of your other content, and that's when they'll decide to follow you. So from the time I posted this video till the next 2 days, I got around, I want to say closer to 20 followers. So I've never had a video that has gotten me that many followers on Instagram. TikTok, like that's a different story, but Instagram is very hard to get natural followers that way. So that was pretty cool to see that. And let me just go through why I believe this one did well versus my other content. So if you look at the start, this written text here, this written hook, when it comes to hooks, there's three different hooks. There's a written text hook, there's a verbal hook, which is me saying the hook, and there's also a visual hook. So the visual hook can be something as easy as like me drinking coffee. It can be me holding up a piece of paper. It can be anything that visually attracts that person in. So this one, I actually didn't really have much of a visual hook. As you can see, I was like, this is like day one of me being super sick last week. And I was just on my couch and I didn't like the hook that I originally had with this video. So I just went back into the TikTok app and I just recorded it, a new hook. And I think me being sick allowed me to be like super like just slower overall. And I think that was helpful for me because whenever I do my hooks, I tend to talk fast. And I always thought like you got to get like straight to the point, which you do. But I've seen other videos where creators will almost like pause in between statements or like emphasize a certain word, and it actually has more of an impact on retention. So I tried it with this one. I don't know if you guys can hear the volume on this. Let me know if you can. Literally use the CRA's own money to increase your down payment. Here's how to do it. All right, so here's what you're going to do. Step one, you're going to contribute $30,000 into your RSP as a couple. So that's $30,000 each in year one, which is going to equate to a $9,900 tax return. Now, of course, we can't forget about that almighty powerful FHSA account. So you're going to contribute $8,000 each into that account
It's going to equate to 2640 in tax returns. So your year one total is now going to be $25,080. Step three, you're simply going to repeat steps one and two for the next year. All right, so this is pretty cool. So now you've got 120 in the RSPs, benefits stay 32,000. Cool, that's your own money contributed. But here's the cool part. Tax refunds, $50,000 after 2 years. So now we're going to take that and add into the down payment total here of $202,000 with that starting point of 150K. Pretty powerful. More money education in Canada, give me a follow.
So that last statement where I had the call to action to follow, if I didn't have that, I bet you I would have got like a third or a quarter of the amount of followers. So if your goal is to grow right now and not necessarily like convert leads, like of course we all want leads, but you need to grow first. You need to have that call to action to get the followers, and that's I was like super pumped that I did have that call to action at the end. And when it comes to that hook, you can hear the volume in this is awful too. Like I wasn't even using a mic. I was like, whatever, let's just try it. And I think having that like more of that natural hook actually helped. And the second piece to this is if you go into the visuals, all of my other videos, I didn't really have any visuals. It was more so just like a talking head. But this one, I went straight into showcasing like sticky notes and a lot of the times when there's steps as well, people want to follow along and go through the whole thing. So having the sticky notes, revealing the numbers, that helped big time. So going forward, I'm going to be playing with different visuals like a whiteboard, sticky notes, holding up pieces of paper, all that kind of stuff. And this was actually the part that took the longest, believe it or not, like coloring in the stupid step one and two on this, but it was worth it. And what else? Yeah, so the other thing I did too, if you couldn't tell, this is actually from the Breaking Bank article. So you don't even have to come up with this content. Like I use this case study example from the article and I just put it into my own words. And you don't have to recreate the wheel. I haven't seen anyone post this, so yeah, it's recreating the wheel in terms of posting social content for it, but the actual numbers were already there. And I posted this immediately to my story, so I don't know if that helped as well, but that was the other change I made. And I also changed the time of posting. So I posted this in the afternoon around 4 p.m. versus I usually post around 11 a.m. So I'm going to play around with that. But what I recommend doing is if you're looking to make these small changes every single video, I would start with one. I wouldn't do a bunch of them at the same time because now I don't really know if all of those changes led to the successful reel here or if it was just maybe one out of the three. So I would recommend just changing one at a time so you can really figure out, okay, like that is what helped me with this next video.